are back here on Girl Talk. We're here at Custom Audio Video. It is a beautiful day. Ian has joined us. We're talking sound today.
We are.
It's really important. You know, we're talking about the 4G and how fabulous the picture is, but looking at something is great. Hearing it's even better. Talk to us about sound bars, surround sound, the differences.
Yeah.
Lots going on with that.
I'll talk about that, but firstly you said 4G, it's 4K.
Oh yeah, I knew that. It's, yeah, exactly. I love you that you didn't correct me, though.
I have to try and keep you right.
Exactly.
So, you know, TVs are bigger and bigger and bigger. This one's a 75-inch Sony, which is a fantastic picture. Many people ask us, well, I want to do a sound bar. I don't want to do a traditional surround sound system, which has at least 5 speakers and a subwoofer. And here we have a center channel speaker, there's a left, a right, and there's rear speakers also.
Okay.
So some people don't want to do that, perhaps a price issue, perhaps the room's already finished, so there's no opportunity to run wire.
Oh, so if it's not a new build, if it's a retrofit.
It's not a new build.
Okay.
So, you know, it's relatively simple to do a sound bar below the TV.
Okay.
Whether the sound bar sits on a piece of furniture or whether it actually mounts on the wall or to the mount that the TV's mounted to.
It's funny because I'm a designer. One of the things I'm really picky about is if you're going to mount it and it's not proportional.
How does it look?
Not so good unless it's proportional to the television.
Exactly.
What do you do with that?
So here, for instance, Sonos has been big for years. Here's a Sonos sound bar, and it only comes in this width, 3 feet or whatever it is.
Okay.
So clearly, when you get to a TV this size,
It's
if you mount this below the TV,
it's not gonna
like
work.
this, it really kind of looks out of proportion. And
It does.
It's not a good finish. There are solutions for that. There's ways that we can cover them up. In this situation, though, what we've got here is a sound bar made by a company called Leon, and Leon they expect the model number when we order these, the model of the TV.
Okay.
When we order the sound bar, so they custom match the width of the sound bar to the TV width, and also sometimes TVs have a little notch in them at the bottom. They'll notch out their speaker to fit this TV exactly.
All right, so let me make sure I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is this sound bar is not part of the television, but it is built to make it look like it's one contiguous Oh, that's pretty impressive.
So, you know, if there's a strange shape in the TV, they match that shape on the speaker. So the speaker ends up being as close as possible to the bottom of the TV.
I thought
and obviously
this was part of it.
It matches width-wise as well. So it looks like it's one piece.
Okay.
Now, this is a slightly different situation soundbar from the Sonos one. Firstly, it doesn't do any streaming like Sonos does. This was just an example to show the width.
Got it.
But this is what's called a powered soundbar. It plugs into power and it has its own amplifier in it. And there's other soundbars like that. Samsung, Sony, lots of people make them. This one is just like a regular speaker like this. It's what's called a passive speaker. So in other words, it still needs to be connected to an amplifier or a surround sound receiver or something that will drive the speakers in it.
With so many options out there, how do you make a decision like that? When I come to you, are there questions that you ask me about? For example, how would you decide what to do? If cost is an issue?
How would I decide on
the
soundbar versus a traditional
system?
You know, quite often in that situation, we would show the pricing of one against the other, and,
so
and
price
see what's
point
involved.
could
so
be
that definitely is a thing. And like anything else that's custom, this isn't just like going into a big box store and let's buy one off the shelf. This is a little bit higher end, and it sounds a little bit higher end, and it's a little bit more expensive than the traditional ones that people are used to seeing. You
but
know,
again,
and there's a reason for that.
I was just going to say, is there a difference in the caliber and quality depending on the price of things like sandbars?
With everything, you get what you pay for, right? And in this case, you pay for the aesthetic, you know, finish because it really does look quite good with the TV there. And
TVs to me now are really part of the furnishings. I mean, don't you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, we build rooms now around these kinds of systems.
For sure.
Okay, so again, talking about pricing.
Yeah. It really depends on, firstly, the size of the TV, because
Okay.
you match the size of the soundbar to that. But if you were to do a comparison, I don't think there's a huge difference between a traditional surround system and something like this, because, as I say, you still need an amplifier or a receiver behind it to drive it. And you can have things like subwoofers coming off that surround sound receiver as well, which would enhance a soundbar. And I would recommend that with any soundbar, because soundbar speakers are very, very small, so you don't get much bass or low-end response from them. So it's really quite handy to have the subwoofer to back that up.
So here's my takeaway. I always love talking about these kinds of subjects, which are like, ooh. Come in, see Ian at Custom Audio Video, ask questions, and allow professionals who do this for a living to help guide you in your decision for the sound making.
Exactly.
I mean, if that's the takeaway, that's the takeaway. It is always a treat to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us here on Girl Talk. Please have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.